Hi, I'm Lisa Genza. Welcome to the Freedom Kitchen Kids series brought to you by Oxford Community TV and the Four County Community Foundation. I'm so blessed and honored to be doing this cooking series, helping you and your family to make healthier options, and hopefully I can make your life a little bit simpler. Today we're going to make mini quiches for the on-the-go breakfast for the on-the-go family. And what we're going to do is bake them in muffin tins, and maybe you've done this before, maybe you just need a reminder, because as we head into the new school season, you'll probably want to have some breakfasts that you can grab and go, and the kids can grab and go. This recipe again is simple enough for the kids to make at home, so kids cook along with me. As always, we wash our hands before we get started in the kitchen, and we make sure that our workspace is clean. Make sure that you assemble all of the tools that you need. This is called mise en place, when we have all of our ingredients out and we're organized before we start cooking. I always have a clean rag towel handy to wash my hands or wipe my hands as I go. And we're going to talk about making veggie quiches today, and how, again, we can add more color. So everyone knows Lisa likes to add more color to your meals. So we're going to have some colorful quiches today. All right, so we're going to start today with sauteing in some olive oil. You can use coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, but we want to use a high heat oil. We never want to saute in anything that is a low heat oil. Okay, so that would be olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. Actually, walnut oil is another high heat oil. Pick one of those to saute today. And we're going to start with sauteing here our onions. Now, you can cut your onions. See, I have my onion here. This, I always love to show off little gadgets. This is a little food processor that makes it so easy, and then I don't have to cry on camera, because if I had to chop these onions right now on camera, then my eyes would probably water. So I used the little food processor. And this little food processor chops up my onion nice and small. Now kids, you're getting your kitchen skills down, so you're probably practicing your knife skills and your cutting skills. Just be prepared with a towel in case your eyes water. All right, so we're going to saute these onions. And then I also have some peppers that I cut up. Now, all right, now you might see that I have a baggie here of frozen peppers. So often recipes will call for sweet bell peppers, red or yellow or orange or green, but we don't always need the whole pepper. Or we might want, like in this recipe, I want to have all the colors, and I definitely don't need 3 peppers. So I wash my peppers when I bring them home, cut them and freeze them, so that when I need them, I can pull what I need out of the freezer. Another thing you can do is keep dehydrated bell peppers in your spice cabinet, and then those can be reconstituted. Reconstituted means add water to it, so that you can use those as needed in recipes in case you don't have access to any peppers and the recipe calls for peppers. Now we're going to add today, we're going to add some fresh greens. Okay, so I have some basil, I have some chives, I have some red romaine, let's see, collard greens, kale, oh, more basil because I love basil, some Italian parsley, Swiss chard, and arugula. This would be a really good exercise to name your greens, but we can add these greens to our onion mixture. So we're just going to chop these up nice and small. We can really add any vegetables to these little quiches. So I have made these with shaved Brussels sprouts. I have made these with shredded sweet potatoes. Now, in one of our other episodes, we talked about how to add color and add a variety of vegetables without it becoming overpowering. And we said one of the ways to do that is to use a vegetable peeler. So we could use a vegetable peeler and peel in shavings of carrots or shavings of sweet potato, because we know sometimes the flavor can be overpowering, and especially for our kids, they might need to adjust to new flavors. But this is a great way to introduce more color and more flavor into our food, is to use a shaving of different vegetables. Okay, so we have here our greens. Now, because of the time of year that we're recording this, all of this came fresh out of my garden, which was wonderful. If you haven't tried to grow greens, you could actually grow them in containers and have a little container garden or an herb garden right on your patio. Okay, now we've got the fragrance here of all those herbs and those greens. And we're going to let that stay on low for just a minute while we crack our eggs. Now, when you come to any of the cooking classes here in person, this is always a favorite for the kids, to crack the eggs. So Mom and Dad always let the kids crack the eggs at home. It's good practice for them. Practice makes perfect. One of the things that the kids can practice doing is separating the egg, in case they have a recipe that needs just the white or just the yolk. So if possible, we want to use local pasture-raised eggs. So remember, whatever the animal is eating is what you're eating. So we just want to make sure that we're procuring our ingredients from the highest quality sources as possible. All right, we're just going to whip up these eggs and fill our muffin tins. And we'll be right back.
Reach for the skies with OCTV.
So we're back. We're whipping up our eggs here, and we're going to add now everything that we sauteed to our eggs. Now you'll notice that in this recipe I am not using any dairy. Often your quiche recipes will have heavy whipping cream in them, but I'd like to show you how you can make your quiche without any dairy. One, it makes it simpler, it's less ingredients. And two, many people can't handle dairy. Dairy is mucus producing. So not to mention you'll save money. If we cut out the whipping cream and the cheese, these become less expensive. So we're gonna save some time and we're gonna save some money. And now we're just gonna spoon these or pour these. It's probably not the best bowl to pour, but I'm going to try. We're just gonna pour these into our muffin tins. Just about half to 3/4 of the way full. You see how pretty and colorful they are because we've got those red, orange, and yellow peppers. We've got all those greens, all those herbs. And again, I've made this with Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes, carrots, whatever you have on hand. All right, so here's our little quiches. We're just going to put them into the oven. And while we wait for those, we're just going to talk about some other options. Now, I also omitted meat in those. You could put Canadian bacon or ham or bacon, whatever you desire. By making these veggie and making them colorful, I omitted the meat in an attempt to get the kids to eat more vegetables. But this also saves money. So if we look at all of the added ingredients, if we were to add a crust and we were to add the cheese and we were to add the meat, we would increase the cost. This is a very low cost. Use whatever vegetables are in season, use whatever you have that you have to get rid of. It's basically eggs and vegetables. It's that simple. And then these can be frozen for future breakfasts. So I like to prep on Saturday or Sunday for the week so that when things get hectic and crazy throughout the week, I don't end up going through a drive-through. So what we want to do is utilize the time that we have on the weekends or whatever day that you can prep, and you can make these in advance. Put them in the refrigerator, put them in the freezer. They freeze and they thaw extremely well. So let's see what these look like when they come out. Okay, so here's our little quiches. And those, you can see are small. They're bite-sized, but great for kids. For adults, you might need to eat 2 or 3 of them, but that's okay. Again, any variety, any vegetables. You can change these up by changing the flavor or changing the seasoning. You could put oregano and basil in, make them taste a little more Italian. You could put cumin, you can put taco seasoning. But this is a great way to add different flavors or a different variety. Just change up your seasonings. Your seasonings will change the flavor of everything. Let me see what you do with this recipe. Let me see how creative you are. Post pictures to our Facebook page. Feel free to reach out and contact me. If there's anything I can do to help you, I'd love to do so. All right, join me when we come back. We're gonna make smashed chickpea tacos. All right, welcome back. I love having everyone here at Freedom Kitchen. This really is my blessing and my honor to be able to teach you healthy recipes and expand your boundaries a bit. So, and that's what we're gonna do today. When we think of tacos, most of us think of ground beef, maybe shredded chicken or pulled pork, or, but they always seem to have a base of meat. And today we're gonna talk about making a vegan taco. And this is fun. This is easy for the kids to do, so kids join in. Definitely one of the lessons from our cooking classes here. We start out with chickpeas or garbanzo beans. We're going to add those to this pan. As you can see, I already have mine heating up here. And as if I was smashing ground beef, I'm going to use the meat, I don't know what you call this. I think we all have one now. This is to turn and brown your meat, your ground beef. And so what I'm doing is I'm lightly smashing the chickpeas. I have added to my 2 cans of chickpeas, I have added 1 can of tomato paste, a 1/2 cup of water, and taco seasoning. Taco seasoning is important for us to talk about. Most of the brands in the grocery store, when we read the label, will have partially hydrogenated or fully hydrogenated oils. You'll see hydrogenated soybean and canola oil, and those are genetically modified. So you're getting trans fat plus GMOs. If you read on, you will also see other ingredients that they put into your taco seasonings, and that would be everything from high fructose corn syrup to MSG. So we have to understand that those ingredients are addictive, and the food companies know that, so they put those into the food to make us eat more of the food. So when we start eating with whole foods and we take out those processed ingredients, we find that we need to eat far less. We don't need nearly as much food as we think we do. Oftentimes people will say to me, it costs too much to eat healthy. But it doesn't cost that much to eat healthy when we eat less. What we find when we start buying healthier ingredients is we will consume less food, and in the long run you will save money. So today I want to address seasonings. Seasonings are another area where we're exposed to trans fat, which is hydrogenated oils. We're exposed to MSG, high fructose corn syrup, sometimes gluten. Gluten is added as a thickener or thickening agent, as well as those spices may not be organic. So you're getting, if you think about a plant having sprayed with pesticides and then it's dried and sold dry in a spice bottle, often it was dried with the pesticides on it. So we want to make sure that we're purchasing the highest quality spices and seasonings. Now I am a taco lover. Mexican food is my favorite. And we go through a lot of taco seasoning, Mexican seasoning in our household. And there are only 2 brands that I can endorse at this time. And that would be Simply Organic or Epicure. And this isn't the taco seasoning, this is the salsa. We use the salsa seasoning there today. They also sell taco seasoning in a jar or in a packet, Epicure does. So Simply Organic is something that is available at Whole Foods or Better Health or possibly the mainstream grocery stores now. And then Epicure is something that is sold by health coaches like myself. You order online. These are companies I can recommend for spices and seasonings, and just know that spices and seasonings are very, very important. As long as we're utilizing a high quality seasoning, they often have other health benefits, anti-inflammatory benefits. So just know that, God gave us plants, and every plant and herb and seasoning has a benefit unless it's been stripped away by the processing, unless it's been sprayed with pesticides. So we want to make sure that we're choosing the highest quality spices and seasonings. Okay, so with that, our smashed chickpea tacos are done. So we'll see here that we have smashed our chickpeas into tomato sauce and taco seasoning. And this is so yummy. I couldn't believe how good this was. Now I just have corn tortillas here today. You can put these on a regular crunchy shell. You can put them on a flour tortilla. You all know I'm gluten-free, so I won't be putting it on a flour tortilla, but I'm just using soft corn tortillas today. And then of course we want to make it colorful. So we're going to add some of our lettuce. We made fresh salsa here, and the salsa was made with our Epicure seasoning. And then I've got some purple cabbage. And just like that, we have a smashed chickpea taco. Now this again can be done with a crunchy shell taco. This can be done on flour, and you can add whatever toppings you would like to your taco. Now, what are some of the benefits to utilizing chickpeas instead of ground beef? It doesn't have quite as much protein. It is a phenomenal protein replacement for beef, but it's still about 1/3 the amount of protein. However, when we look at the vitamins and the minerals found in chickpeas, it is far superior to ground beef. So remember, our body needs more than just protein. It needs vitamins and it needs minerals. And when our body is given the nutrients it needs, we actually require less food. In order to save money, making our tacos with chickpeas once in a while would save us money. Chickpeas are far less expensive than ground beef. It's also a pantry staple. So say you're trying to whip up dinner, you didn't thaw out any ground beef or you don't have any, then you can make your tacos that night with smashed chickpeas. I always encourage you to broaden your horizons, get creative. And in future episodes, we will talk about other ways of making our Mexican food because, as I said, that is my favorite. And I don't eat much meat, so I have found ways to make tacos and nachos with walnuts, with chickpeas, with black beans. So we're gonna get creative. Continue to watch. Here's from me to you, from Freedom Kitchen to you. Here's to your freedom and mine. Till next time.